The original album cover on the Backstage at the Grand Ole Opry album showed Roy Acuff standing on stage at the Opry twirling his fiddle bow, and I never knew why he did that. And so I asked him.
I tell you, when I go on stage, I try to attract the attention of the audience. I've been doing that all of my life. I was trained that way. When you hit the center of that stage, get all the attention you can on you.
How about the yo-yo? Where did that come from?
That comes in commercial time. We have 4,400 people sitting out there, and they come here to see the entertainers. So I figured that out, and then I just take my yo-yo and start yo-yoing and doing anything to give them some entertainment while the commercials are going on.
Our conversation eventually got around to Roy's dear friend, cousin Minnie Pearl.
Where did you come up with the way that you introduced Minnie Pearl on the stage? Because you have a very unique way of bringing her on.
I don't know, Bill, to tell you the truth, just how that got started. But I always like to do something with a lot of emphasis on it. Cousin Minnie Pearl!
Sounds terrible tonight. Well, I went to the doctor about my throat, and he gave me this medicine. And the medicine didn't hurt me so bad, Roy. It is the directions on the bottle. Said take it 2 nights to run in and skip a night. Them nights I had to take it to running is bad enough. And then them nights I had to take it to skipping, that is bad. And me with a bad throat, too. But it's a pleasure to be here, Roy.
I'm glad you came to visit us.
Yes, it's a pleasure. At my age, it's a pleasure to be anywhere. I had I know one time, me and Uncle Nabob, I believe you remember my uncle, don't you?
I've heard you speak of Nabob, I believe. Uncle Nabob.
He ain't a failure. He just started at the bottom, and he likes it there. But we went on a little trip. We went out west, me and Uncle Nabob and Dan Ambrosi. I never will forget it. It was a lovely trip, and we run up on a nice old Indian out there. And Uncle Nabob had lost Aunt Ambrosi, and he said, have you saw anything of a lady that I have lost? And the Indian said, ugh. And Uncle Nabob said, yeah, that's her. Where is she? I made that up.
I believe you did.
Made it up out of my own head. Had enough wood left over to make a picket fence. But anyway, we had a wonderful trip. Uncle Nabob goes on trips right off, and him and Aunt Ambrosi, they went on a trip with Cease Jones and his wife just last summer. And then the first night they got to a motel, and Uncle Nabob said to Cease Jones, let's do like the young folks do and swap partners.
Oh.
Well.
No.
That night about 12 o'clock, Uncle Nabob said to Cease Jones, how do you reckon the girls are doing? I scared Roy to death. I tell you, we've been having an exciting time at Grinder Switch. There's always something going on. Always something going on.
Always something coming off.
Well, Roy.
Well, yeah.
You talking about Miss Lizzie Tinkham that time she streaked through Grinder Switch in a birthday suit. She did, Miss Lizzie did.
Really?
Yes, indeed. And old Grandpappy Bustrom said, what in the world is that? And Cease Jones says, that's Miss Lizzie Tinkham. She's streaking in a birthday suit. And the old Grandpappy said, well, it sure does need ironing. Oh, Roy, it's terrible to be this silly at my age. After all, not many people 18 would get up here and carry on like this. I had a song I was going to sing, Roy. Somebody asked me the other day if my voice was cultivated, and I told them what you said. What did you say?
I said it'd been plowed under.
And I love him still.
Several weeks ago, you were here and you were telling something about one of your people that you talk about quite a bit. Maybe one of the ladies. She had selected her pallbearers for some reason.
Oh, that's Miss Lizzie.
Miss Lizzie.
She's one done the streaking. She's a real wild woman.
Yeah.
She said she didn't want nothing but women pallbearers. And I said, why is that? And she said, if them old men won't take me out while I'm alive, I don't want them to take me out after I'm dead.
Minnie Pearl, lovely lady. Thank you.
You know, in listening to the routine between Roy Acuff and Minnie Pearl, a lot of love flowed between the two of them. But they disagreed on one thing. Minnie Pearl said that Roy Acuff fired her one time. And Roy said that's not true at all.
Oh, she tells that. No, Bill, I never fought anybody in my life. Minnie wanted to work with some others, and I don't blame her. And they could pay her more than I could, and I was glad she could get that kind of a deal.
Minnie, you said in your book that Roy Acuff couldn't have done a better thing for you than to fire you, and he just got through telling me he didn't really fire you. Now I want to hear your side of that.
He did do me a favor. He was very nice about
Minnie,
it.
I don't remember that.
Well, you had a lot on your mind.
I tell you, really, I do remember talking to you and telling you to wait on your audience, which you do now.
Oh, I do. I keep waiting lots of times and still doesn't happen.
Minnie Pearl still likes the fellers, don't she?
Oh, heavens, yes. To be honest with you, I've always liked the fellers. I like a good, solid average. I like 5 men to 1 woman.